All right, so this is my poncho. I know it looks like I'm in a robe, but I am in my winter poncho and not in a robe. Just a little disclaimer there. So I love how in my last vlog I was having a good day, which I haven't had in a long time. And then, yeah, I started not feeling well after that, and so I have not been able to do my morning routine the last several days. My face is super puffy, has a lot of water weight, and just big bags under my eyes. I've been having headaches every single day. It has been a struggle bus over here, and so not doing as well now, but that's what chronic illness is, right? Day to day, it is so freaking different. So today I really wanted to talk about my current treatment for POTS, or orthostatic intolerance. And that has also kind of been a struggle too. So let's get into it. I am seeing the head of the POTS clinic at Johns Hopkins, and I love this doctor because she has a rheumatology background and I have Sjogren's, and she also has done a little bit of research on Lyme disease, which that 14 or 13 and a half years ago started my whole journey, was a positive Lyme test. So she basically has like all of different components of my journey to help me out, which has been amazing. And so I've seen her twice. It is very hard to get in to see her because she's at Johns Hopkins and has quite a long wait list to get in. But I've seen her twice in the last like 8 months or so. It's been really exciting. So the first appointment we kind of went in and the rheumatology concerns were top of mind, and so that's what we kind of started out first with. And I hadn't gotten diagnosed with Sjogren's yet, so that was like of number one priority, was working on getting a diagnosis to figure out what was going on. And at this last appointment, we really focused on orthostatic intolerance. So I have all the symptoms of POTS and orthostatic intolerance. POTS is a form of orthostatic intolerance. So when I get up from laying down too quickly, I get super lightheaded. If I'm standing for too long, like if I take a shower, I have a shower chair, but if I don't use it the whole time, sometimes I'll get super lightheaded. I've not fully blacked out or fainted, but I've definitely had the edges come in getting black. Sometimes if I get out of the bath too quickly and then don't like sit down on the floor, I will almost pass out and things will get black. I have a bunch of other symptoms of orthostatic intolerance as well, like a racing heart. Sometimes when I have a conversation, my heart rate will spike to like 120, even though it's just a conversation. Like right now, it's 109. Even though I'm just sitting talking, which is not normal. I did have a tilt table test done several years ago for the pandemic, I guess, a long time ago. Aurora wants to come in. I was kind of right on the edge of a positive for the tilt table, but they didn't do it. I read that you should do the tilt table for like at least 20 minutes, especially someone with ME/CFS as well. We can present differently with POTS symptoms, but either way, my doctor, the head of the POTS clinic, she said, look, even though your tilt table test wasn't positive, you definitely have orthostatic intolerance. Whether you have POTS or not, whether that's the type of orthostatic intolerance you have, doesn't really matter. We're going to treat you the same. And so this time at the appointment, we got into treatments, which we hadn't really gotten into last time because we've been so focused on the rheumatology stuff. So her treatment plan for me is one, starting POTS PT. I'm out of physical therapy for this year because I've basically been in physical therapy all year. I went to pelvic floor PT at the beginning of this year, then I had shoulder PT, then I had Achilles PT for tendonitis, then I had hip PT for really bad painful hip and bursitis, and then now I'm in TMJ PT. So POTS PT clinic, unfortunately, at Johns Hopkins does not do medical letters of necessity, so I have to wait to the new calendar year for my PT to reset. So in January, I'll be starting POTS PT. But the other thing she wanted me to do was, one, really increase my salt intake. Now, I've never kept track of my salt intake. I tend to add a lot of salt to like certain foods like pasta, for example. I will add a lot of salt because I crave salt a lot, and I'll eat salty foods like organic corn chips, which I know aren't great for you, or olives, things like that. Because a lot of times I'm craving salt, but I've never kept track. And at this last appointment, my doctor was like, we want you to be taking 3,000 milligrams to 5,000 milligrams of salt a day, which sounds insane. Most people are on low sodium diets. I, however, am on an extremely high sodium diet. Now, it has been really difficult to find foods that are healthy to fill that and get to even 3,000. I'm really struggling. And so if you have any ideas of foods that are healthy, or if you have POTS and you have to be on a high sodium diet, please let me know, because you know, it's very easy to get to high sodium when you're eating fries or really unhealthy fast food or whatnot, but my GI system is insane. I have to eat bland foods. I can't eat gluten. I'm gluten intolerant. I'm allergic to onions and garlic, and I can't eat nightshades because they make my joint pain from Sjogren's so much worse. And so my diet is extremely limited. It is very difficult to find foods that fit that criteria. I am only able to eat bland foods as well. So basically going out to eat just never happens. So I have been relying on olives. So let me go through my handy dandy list here that I've been keeping track of my favorite foods and what sodium they have. So we'll make like a gluten-free pizza and I'll eat a quarter of it, and because it has olives on it, artichoke hearts, cheese, and some other stuff, it is pretty high in sodium. It's like 569 milligrams of sodium for a quarter of a pizza. When I have a gluten-free bagel in the morning, my dad actually makes me these gluten-free bagels, and somehow they have really high sodium content, so it's 407 milligrams of sodium, so that's really good for me. Surprisingly, when I eat salty chips that for me like fulfill my salty craving, 8 chips is only 70 milligrams of sodium, and I usually don't eat more than 8 chips in like a snack break. So that is actually much lower than I thought. And then I'm starting to get into like gluten-free crackers. One bag of 6 crackers is like 230 milligrams. So I'm starting to try to look outside the box, and I'm having to like change my diet to try to fulfill this 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day. Now, the other thing you can do is you can supplement with things like electrolyte drinks. For example, I think it's pronounced Element, L-M-N-T. And the difficulty about that is it's very expensive. So one little packet has 1,000 milligrams of sodium, only 1,000. And it's like $1 per packet. So if I was solely relying on that, I'd have to have like 3 to 5 a day, which is $3 to $5 a day. I cannot afford that. And so that's been frustrating. Let me know if there's like other ones other than Element out there that I should be looking into. The other way that you can supplement for sodium is by taking salt tablets. Now, the salt tablet that I have gotten and never tried before this was called a thermotab. And what's insane is that it's like, oh, there's like 500, milligrams of salt. No, it has all this other stuff in it. So it's actually only 184 milligrams of sodium per like regular size capsule, which is insane. Like, first of all, they taste awful, and I don't want to be taking like 10 of those a day. Like, you wouldn't even get up to, oh my God, it's so frustrating. So like, that is not a great supplementation. This has been like a really frustrating journey, I'm not gonna lie. And I've been struggling a lot with trying to fulfill this 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams of sodium a day. I have not been succeeding most days, and it's just really difficult to find healthy foods that will fulfill this sodium intake and foods that fit my really limited diet. It's just been really frustrating. And then on top of that, she wants me to drink a gallon of water a day, which is like to help with the sodium retention. And so I think on the days when I do get closer to 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams, it's maybe easier to drink closer to a gallon of water a day. I pretty much tap out at 12 cups, and a gallon is 16 cups. And so I am really struggling with trying to reach that a gallon a day of water as well. And then in addition to that, I'm supposed to be keeping track of my blood pressure and taking that 3 times a day. I have not bought a cuff yet. I still need to do a little bit of research to find one to start keeping track of my blood pressure in a day, because I didn't know this. I don't know how I didn't know this because of all my health issues. But like, I've had 2 doctor's appointments since I've started this high sodium diet, and they took my blood pressure, and I was like, why is it so high? Like, one was like 130 or something, the other one was like 126, and I'm like, usually it's like really low. Like, that's the one good thing, is that my heart rate has been insane with like orthostatic intolerance, but my blood pressure has been pretty normal. And then one of my parents was like, oh, like when you increase your sodium intake, that increases your blood pressure. That's why most people go on low sodium diets. I was like, what? How have I never encountered this before? So that is why they want you to take your blood pressure 3 times a day. It's definitely like a huge lifestyle change, and I think it's gonna take me a really long time to get to the place where I am like consistently every day hitting that goal of so many milligrams of salt and so much water as well. So yeah, the way I've been keeping track is I have the Strides app, which is one of my favorite apps, and I basically just, whenever I eat something, I will input that number, so either the number of cups of water I'm drinking or the sodium number, and it will like add it up for me, which has been incredibly helpful. So I don't have to do the mental math or keep track in other ways, but just keeping track throughout the day is kind of exhausting. Every time you eat something, you have to be thinking about the sodium intake, and that is honestly one of the most exhausting parts of it. Or you're eating food that you don't necessarily want to eat, like olives, just to reach your sodium content for the day. And that's something I am nervous about, is getting burned out of these high sodium foods, just because I'm forcing myself to eat them to reach that high sodium level. So I say all this because I would love thoughts from all of you. If you have go-to high sodium foods, if you found some sort of way to supplement your sodium if you are having to have a high sodium diet. Another thing is that you can get prescription salt tabs, which are much higher, but they can cause extreme GI distress. And so we are not going that route for now. So I would love feedback. I would love thoughts. If you've experienced this, please let me know how you have done this successfully. I will report back. You know, the longer I'm on this and the longer that I've made these lifestyle changes, you know, hopefully I will find some things that work for me. But I just wanted to share kind of where I'm currently at, and it is kind of more exhausting than maybe I'm even thinking to have these huge lifestyle changes that I'm struggling with, if I'm being honest. So yeah, that is what I'm currently dealing with, and I would love to hear everyone's thoughts. I know this is kind of crazy, like when somebody says that much sodium or a gallon of water a day, I'm like, you're wild. So yeah, it just sounds kind of insane, but this is the treatment for POTS and orthostatic intolerance. And on the days when I do have more salt, I do feel less lightheaded if I get up too fast, which is exciting. That is an exciting progress statement, and hopefully it would help some of my other symptoms as well. So I will keep you all updated, my friends. Please comment below what your thoughts are, if you have any tips, tricks, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye, everyone.